felt nostalgic the other day, fellas. I did a fart, which smelled exactly like my dad's farts that he used to do at home when we were growing up. Like I don't know what to the letter is a linguistic term, whatever the nasal equivalent is.
To the note.
Yeah, to the well,
to the molecule.
it just had the exact tang to it. You know what I'm saying?
Methane nostalgia.
Took me right back. I was just
Now, could you have described that smell before you smelled it again, if you know what I mean? Or did it just send you back in time?
It just sent me straight back. Or I just
right.
what's this feeling?
Wow. So it was like the last scene in Ratatouille. Is that what you're saying?
Possibly.
Shit. You bastard.
Hello, I'm joined in this episode of Bit Weird But Fair Enough, I guess, by the Pants Panel. What? What's the Pants Panel? What the hell? Well, they're the dad experts from the Dad Pants podcast. Because today we're going to talk about dads. And dads are a bit weird. And if you haven't met a weird dad or a dad that does weird stuff, you probably never left your house in your life. Or your room, probably, because there's no doubt been a weird dad in your house at some point. Straight up, dads are weird. There's no denying it. So, we're going to talk about some weird dad stuff, which might include weird dad stuff that we do. Over to you, Stuart, talking to them directly. This is a Dad Pants, Bit Weird But Fair Enough, I guess, crossover episode. And it's got the Pants Panel, who is Rich.
Hi.
Who is Ben.
Hello.
And who is Matt.
Hello.
You can hear the dad expertness in their voices, I'm sure. So we're going to talk about how weird dads are, essentially, tonight, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But before we get to that, Matt, you had a couple of things you wanted to talk about.
Yeah, I've got maybe a new game or a new like a dad event.
Oh yeah.
Which I two things I observed on the weekend was of dadness. Number one, here's a question for you all: how quick can you? So you put petrol in your car, right? We're at the petrol station. You put petrol in your car. You've gone in and paid. You've walked back to your car. Do you make a concerted effort to get the fuck out of there as quickly as possible as a courtesy to the people behind you?
Of course.
So I think that's a dad thing.
Oh.
And this is just based on me just going, I've got 4 cars in front and all 4 people are walking to their cars at the same time.
Yeah.
2 dads, 2 non-dads, shall we say.
Non-dads.
The 2 dads... That's as PC as I can make it.
The two who obviously were not dads.
Yes. The 2 dads peeled out of there within like 12 seconds, I reckon, just in the car.
Hang on a second.
Engine.
Were they gingers, I'm assuming? That's how you don't want to pay dads?
And they just peeled out of there. The other 2 were faffing around doing whatever else they had to do, checking their phones. And the dads were just gone. And I thought, I wonder if that's a dad thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so sorry, can I just ask this? Were they replaced by 2 more dads who then got out of there before those other 2
yes,
non-dads had actually moved?
Exactly right. Yes, this is so. If you were stuck behind the non-dads, so is that something you should keep an eye on, or is this just I just happened to note on that occurrence? But I also thought I do make a concerted effort to get back into my car and not faff around. But you have to is a dad statement.
Can I ask what the etiquette is if you want to purchase something else at the petrol station? Because I often will not purchase something else at the petrol station, knowing that if there's a queue outside, like I'll just even on long trips and stuff. Yeah. But, as I say, you're on a long trip, you need to get something there. Is it just to toughen up, or do you go in, pay for your petrol, then drive off and then park and then go back in again? Like, what's the etiquette there? What do you recommend?
I reckon you need to be able to scoop it up within 30 seconds. You got 30 seconds.
Scoop up?
30 seconds from door to till.
Yes.
It's like supermarket sweep.
Yeah,
gotta
like
run.
supermarkets.
You just grab your stuff and get
That's
to the counter.
why you cannot take children into
Yes.
the petrol station with you.
Oh, exactly right. To be fair, the layout of the shop usually helps you out in that regard. It's usually all very quickly and easily accessible.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm talking. Do you get? Is it acceptable to get a coffee or a Slurpee or eat up a hot dog or something? Like what's the etiquette around that? Do you reckon? I don't. Like, this is the thing. I don't do it.
Definitely not acceptable to heat up a hot dog.
But I have been tempted.
I think that's it's contextual. I think if you're on a long trip and it's not busy,
Yeah.
Not busy. I absolutely.
Yeah.
and if it was busy and you're on a long trip, like if it was, you could see it was busy, I'd pay for the petrol and then park.
Yeah, exactly.
Leave the
Except
kids in there.
Don't do what some fuckers do and
Oh.
park in the air bit where you pump up your tires and then go in the store and faff around for ages.
These
Don't
are
do
all
your shopping.
That's a no-go.
These are all dad etiquettes.
I tell you what this is telling me. We need a Bowser that's a dad-only Bowser.
The quick stop Bowser.
Express lane.
This is what makes it a dad thing. It's got nothing to do. Well, it's probably like 40% consideration for other people, but just 60% knowing how annoying it is to be behind.
Yeah.
You're not peeling off because you're like, oh, I'll do a serve. It's just like, this is the thing I hate, and I'm going to avoid doing it.
So
Yeah.
there's another
faff.
thing that happens at petrol stations, and I know we've gone down, grab a picnic basket, we're on a tangent.
Yeah, as always.
It's
Yeah,
the car park.
yeah.
When people park in the Bowser the wrong way round, so when they've gone in and just seen a space,
Yeah, they've they think they're gaming the system.
yes, but
Till
it
it's
just
time to
puts everyone else in a bad mood.
Yeah.
Really, it's like, you. I could have gone in there, but no, you've reversed in and then flipped the car around and done this and that and the other. Oh, and you've still got to take the hose all the way across your car and put it in the petrol tank. It's like,
That's low.
I think you should be allowed to boo in that situation.
I think they should employ people to boo.
Yeah,
Look at the
that's
people who used to come out and wipe down your windscreen.
like, you know.
You need just booers.
yeah,
You just if you work in the petrol station, they've got buttons where they can talk to you if there's an error.
Loudspeaker.
Yeah, that's
They just
right.
put you on the loudspeaker and boo.
I think it's irresponsible when they put petrol stations on intersections.
I was going to say that.
Because people
On
come in
roundabouts and intersections.
and you go, there's two different kind of viewpoints on what's the correct flow of traffic into those Bowsers. You know, like it's irresponsible.
I knew this would be a good dad topic.
Oh, all right. I want to talk a little bit about weird dad stuff. And first of all, in the Bit Weird But Fair Enough, I guess, podcast, I usually like to start with a weird law. It was hard to find a humorous dad law because they're all about, you know, going through the courts for custody of children and that sort of thing.
Paternity.
Yeah.
But here's a dad-adjacent law, which I found pretty amusing. In Racine, Wisconsin, it's illegal to wake a fireman when he's asleep. So there's a practical thing there. Obviously, fire people need to be well rested if they get called out in the middle of the night, blah, blah, blah. You can understand that. But it's also a very limiting law, I think. You know, what if a fireman has narcolepsy and falls asleep in a fire? Are we allowed to wake him up then?
Can you wake him up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, fireman, like fire ladies, so we can wake fire ladies up to the cows come home. No firemen. Also,
Can you wake them up if there's a fire?
yeah, well, that's, again, poorly worded. It's all these laws are, the problem is the wording. Yeah, brevity isn't helpful in these instances, I
Do you
find.
reckon all the this is a dad law for firemen who are dads, who just go, I'm going to go and have a nap,
Yeah.
and you are not allowed to wake me up by law
Because I'm a fireman.
because I'm a fireman. Yeah.
Yeah, but you're not on. But you're not on call.
Is
at the moment,
that
Doesn't matter.
law?
Doesn't
I've
matter.
got it above my bed. You can read it.
But also, I mean, the inference is to purposely wake a 5-person up, but it doesn't say that.
No.
Like, you could drop a glass and wake them up and be carted off to jail. You know?
What if there was a fire truck outside and it woke up the firemen?
Yeah, he's got a point there.
That's a great point.
Are you going to arrest all the firemen for waking up firemen?
Then we have no firemen.
Everyone's,
I suppose it's the same spot
Everyone's in
because all
jail.
the firemen's asleep.
But don't wake them up while they're in court because then you'll be come on forever. Prison officers have to arrest themselves because they just wake up the firemen.
up the fireman. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they don't stop being firemen when they're in jail. Well, I thought this was also a good chance for us to talk about weird dad things that we do and weird dad things that our own fathers might have done. What do you think, fellas? Shall we start with ourselves or the dads first? Let's start with ourselves. Let's start with ourselves. All right. I hope you've got a little list of weird things that you've either thought of that are weird things you've done or that your family has told you that you do. And if your family told you any of them, were you surprised by any of them? I'd like to know that.
Mm-hmm.
So, shall I start?
Yeah.
Get on there.
All right. Some weird dad things that I do. I like to see how far into late autumn/winter I can go without needing to wear a jacket to work.
Okay.
That's a bit of a dad thing, I think. I won't cook similar meals 2 nights in a row.
Mm-hmm.
I just won't do it.
Why would you?
Like, if we got a salad on one night, it's got to be veggies the next night.
Right.
To the point where I don't even feed the cats the same meal 2 nights in a row. Like, you get a mix, I get a mixed packet of cat food. Chicken's not happening 2 nights in a row. It's got to be chicken one night, tuna the next night. And look, I think maybe as this list goes on...
What about leftovers, Buckland?
Leftovers, they're good for a second night. They can go the 2 nights hence. Pizza is the exemption to that rule.
Right.
I was just about to say, we had pizza 3 meals in a row last weekend.
And for some reason, I just realised this. I don't know if this is a dad thing or just a weird family thing, but I've got 2 mugs in the cupboard that are just microwave mugs. And by that, I mean, they're the mugs that you fill with water when you're heating something in the microwave and you need a bit of water in there so it doesn't dry out. Mm-hmm. Exclusively microwave mugs. They're not used for anything else. That's weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. Here are the ones my family told me. Apparently, I get antsy if everyone doesn't come to dinner as soon as I call out for everyone to come.
Yep. I'm with you there, Buckland. I'm with you there.
Mm-hmm. Well, see, this is the one that I felt I needed to justify myself with. I said, you can tell me anything. I'm not going to get annoyed. And that's the first one that told me, and I went, there's a reason for that.
Tonight is veggies night.
More importantly, no, I know what it is. It's they want to be invited like they are royalty.
Well,
go in with a bell and say, your dinner is ready, sir.
But I've worked hard. If there's like 3 or 4 elements to the dinner, I've worked hard to get it so that they're all the right temperature at exactly the time that I'm calling everybody.
This is...
And I say, can you set the table? This is the thing that shits me, is that can you set the table? And then all of a sudden... I just need to get a drink. I just need this. I'm like, I told you to set the table. Go and set the table.
I love this is the thing that we do, as always. As always, these are the weird shit we do always leads to us shouting at our family. All the shit that they do. Happens every time.
So just be honest with me. Just be honest. What the fuck is wrong with you people?
I know it lends itself to the same thing. You've got 4 things on the go and no one's around. And then as soon as you turn around with a hot fucking saucepan... They're all in the kitchen. That's
exactly.
That's what they pointed out to me.
Hang on. We'll do weird stuff that our family does another episode.
I have a confession to make.
Oh, dear.
Just, it speaks to this point exactly. Is that I asked all of my children and my wife what's some weird stuff that I do. And all of them had an element of shouting in it.
Okay.
Which hurt, but... I could see their point in all of it. You shout a lot at sport. You shout a lot at my sport, right? So when I'm watching sport, but when also I am at the children's sport,
right?
And you yell at me a lot when I'm not doing the right thing.
Yeah.
Or like not coming to dinner or not cleaning my bedroom. It's like, oh, fuck, I must yell a lot.
They're two mutually exclusive things. You're not yelling at them at sport for not doing the right thing.
No.
No, I would just say to them, all right, I won't shout at sport so much. And the rest I'll keep shouting.
Absolutely.
That's a negotiation.
I'm going to take all the
That's
sport
right,
shouting
exactly.
and do it for bedroom not cleaning shouting.
Yeah.
I get a mention in pretty much every Father's Day card about shouting at the TV.
Oh, right. Wow.
Swans.
So,
All right.
yeah.
We weren't meant to
Yes.
kind of out ourselves in this as, scary parents.
I don't think I'm a scary parent.
I think dads shout.
Okay. Dad's shout. Yeah, that's true. That's fair enough.
Especially us. We're loud people. I
We're
guess.
very loud people. Yeah, we're loud people.
Yeah, I don't realize how loud I am, I'm sure.
No.
Another one my family said, lining people up for tackles. If they're, if they're trying to walk from one end of the house to the other and I'm there, I will
I thought you
line.
meant just walking down the street. Because I've seen you do that.
Oh,
Yeah, that's right. This is 1994.
I was going to say this. I don't think this is a dad trait.
I've
I don't
been
think
in-
this is a you
Do
trait.
you know
I
how many
remember
times
you
at
just-
work I've just gone, oh my God, this would be perfect.
You sent me back in time to many times where I was on the playground or in a room somewhere talking to someone, and Stu would go, "Can you just move your?" And he'd literally move my shoulders to be more square on, just so he could just drop a shoulder into you. He just line you up. We're like, all right, well, happy to help.
Giving my son Dylan about 17 nicknames that he hates. That's one of them.
Standing.
Is D-bag one of them?
No, but I call Owen O-Bags, and Dylan's just glad that didn't get transferred over to D-Bags as well. I do circles on the cat's faces whenever they're sitting there and they look comfortable. I just do like face circles until I either get bored or they get annoyed.
Yeah.
And farting and burping and blaming the children.
Nice.
I don't think that's a me. I think that's a dad thing everywhere. Like
That's the same thing.
that has to be in the dad handbook.
That's not so
really.
weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd say it's a dad commandment almost.
Indeed.
But you got to be offended like this. Like, oh, Dylan.
Yes.
Like it's got to be.
Yeah, it's a fart game, son. Play the fart game. I realised something. It might have even been yesterday where I thought this house is like
fart free.
fart free. Like there is no sharing of farts. There is no
Women, dude. Women.
no like, hey everyone, there's no one sitting on the. No one's coming in to sit on the floor. On the wooden floor to get a good sound. Like I realised that yesterday. Am I missing
come
out?
to my house.
That was yes. This is what I grew up in.
Yeah.
I don't have that anymore, and I got a bit winsome about that yesterday.
You got to lift the standards.
Yeah, that's what you're right. That's up to me.
Yeah.
That's right.
Okay. Who's next?
I got to tell you one which I found out yesterday when we got Indian food and a fucking hot prawn vindaloo.
Yes.
So vindaloo's up and down at the local. Sometimes it's hot. Well, it's very hot. Well, apparently, I have dad hiccups.
Oh yeah.
So
How's that go?
when I get anything spicy, too spicy, then I get the hiccups. But they said, "Oh no, you're going to get the hiccups." I said, "Yeah, I always do that. They're so loud. They're scary. They're loud and they're annoying." And I was like, "What? It's just hiccups." No, they're so. Why do you have to make them so big? Like you're putting in extra effort. I'm like, oh, it's like a dad sneeze, but I've got dad hiccups.
I was going to say, I've got the dad sneeze as one of my... That's on the
Right.
bingo card for dad weirdness.
So that was all of them were like, and then I pretended to be hurt. I was like, all right, well, tonight when I got the hiccups eating the leftovers, all right, I'll just take myself into the other room so I don't offend my children with my loud hiccups. But no one had said anything, but they all
For
agreed.
years.
Yeah, they all agreed they were loud and over the top, like I was putting it on.
Who broached the subject?
That's a good question. Maybe Noel. And
then
I
everyone
was
else
like, oh,
piled on.
you're being weird. And then everyone was like, yes. What? Like, why do they have to be? They don't have to be that loud. They don't have to be that loud. I'm like, I'm not adding to it.
Tony's dad a couple of times has had the hiccup for over a week.
Oh my God.
After eating spicy food.
Wow.
And to the point where he's had to go to emergency and they give him a special injection to relax his diaphragm.
Yeah,
to stop him from having it. He had it one time for 11 days straight, hiccuping, like day and night. So he just did not stop. Like at night, he couldn't sleep. He found it really difficult to eat and everything. That's
horrible.
So be careful of your spicy hiccups.
That's ultra dadding.
Right.
Yeah, that's over dadding.
That's taking the dad hiccup to a whole new level.
Jesus. I just got my kids. Just the first thing they say was, "Why do you always sing all the time? Make up every little song, whatever it is. You know, you need more toilet paper." Just now, there's a song about needing more toilet paper. Like, it goes on and on and on. That's a parent thing. Justine and I both do that. Like, whatever it is, like, make a song of it.
Correct.
That is so weird. Why do you do that? And I just said to them, I understand. I'm going to predict your future. You'll be doing that, and everyone.
I do it. Maybe I do it so much that it doesn't seem out of place enough to be called weird.
No, they just notice it. At the moment, because it's May in Canberra, and all the is stopping my children to make them appreciate the changing colours of the leaves. It's in the sunset.
Appreciate it.
In sunset, it's beautiful. It's stunning. The light is incredible. But they were like...
The catchphrase in our house when we do that is, look at the rocks, based on our experience in Vietnam when we were on the cruise, and it's like in this big curse with all the rocks all around it. The kid's like, can we play our tablets? I'm like, no. Look at the beautiful surroundings. Look at the rocks. So now every time that they want to do something, we're like, no, look at the rocks.
Yeah, so they have to deal with that in autumn and deal with the spring, all the cherry blossom, all the blossoms that come out in Canberra.
Oh, cherry blossoms in spring.
They just have to deal with all, look at that. The plum blossoms are out.
Appreciate.
You know what that means?
Cop the
Spring's
bloss.
on its way. I may have said last year, now I knew I was old, where I said, blossoms are out early this year. I was like, oh dear.
We go,
Well, this is the thing. After I was told that I yell a lot,
yeah.
I think I got
You just shouted at them and they wouldn't tell you anymore.
Well, yeah, I got a bit
Tell me
offended and
more.
shut down and didn't ask any more questions. So maybe that's a weird thing that I do. When I ask a question, get an answer I'm not real happy
I
about.
got all sullen and they gave me a response. All right, you fuckers. Shows how much you appreciate how hard I work, isn't it? Can't even raise my voice every now and then.
Well, look, one thing I'll shout myself out for this is anytime no one in the family shows like gratitude for anything,
Well,
I will always I'll just get shirty for probably about 7 minutes and fucking storm around the house like a petulant child until I sort of catch myself in the mirror and go, you're doing it again.
yeah.
And then I'll just calm down.
No, I'm with you there. It drives me fucking nuts. And example, I drove my son Owen to his soccer game on the weekend. He goes, we've got to pick up my mate and all this sort of stuff. And I went, hey, Owen, I don't got to do shit. I'm happy for you to ask me if we can.
Yeah.
So do you want to try again, buddy? I hate it. I can't stand it. Like, it's this.
It's that entitlement.
Yeah.
Entitlement is even more so than lack of gratitude. Entitlement, just expecting things to happen.
Yeah, exactly. It's out of control. Yeah. Sorry, we go.
That's all right. Look, I sort of sit here and just think about it because I asked a couple of times and I got the same answer 3 times, and I think my brain just went, stop asking those questions.
Very well.
Because everyone keeps telling you that you yell a lot.
Right.
It's like, wow. Like, and it wasn't even like, what's the thing that I do that annoys you? The question was, what's some weird stuff that I do?
Yeah. I didn't think that asking, like, I didn't ask this for anyone to have a personality crisis in here. No. Like, I thought it'd be a bit of fun.
I'm okay. I was 7 minutes and I was out of it.
Right.
He went and shouted at his kids again. Felt better.
All right, Rich, what do you say, fella?
My big one, and it was horrible. It was that moment of clarity when it was articulated to me, is my absolute, and I don't use this word lightly, my obsession with the bargain. Like, I'm at the stage where I refuse to purchase anything unless it's on sale. Like, to the point of
jousting spears.
I really like.
Oh, Ellis, I'm so with you.
No, but it's not. It's like, but it's even worse than that. It's like I refuse to buy something unless it's a good deal. Like, no, I really need that, but I'm going to wait until it's a good deal. Like, no matter how, it's very, and I feel really like I don't think I've bought any kind of full price clothing for at least 3 or 4 years.
How many times has this bitten you on the ass where you really needed something? But
well, I was walking around in rags.
Quite substantially.
Let's walk around the sack.
I'm waiting for the next bomb sale. Just all my undies are just
walking around with torn.
I'm waiting for Under Armour to go on sale, like literally.
Yeah, that's
like
a tough
after the
one.
big conversation about the undies, I'm sitting going, oh, fucking hell.
You've got to you need Google alert. You've got to Google alert. Under Armour sale.
Yep.
Just
wearing
shredded underturps in the meantime.
Every episode, Ellis, I seem to get to a point where you're wearing a barrel, and I'm happy about that. It's 2 in a row.
You got it on special.
Yeah, it's gone on special.
As long as it was cheap, yeah. But we went to Good Guys because I had one of those email through vouchers. You got $30 off to use for the next couple of weeks. So it's like, oh yeah, I'll go and get a new set of headphones, and found ones on special with my $30. So I'm down to 60% off, and I'm like, I'm kicking the goals here. I went and tried them on, and they just weren't small, but they were perfect, exactly right specs, but just didn't fit properly. And I was just so angry about it. Like, it was just the most annoying thing. And there was another pair of headphones, which were very, very similar, for the same price, but they weren't on special, but they fit really comfortably. I refused to buy them because they weren't on special, and fucking walked out. Like, what is wrong with someone who does that?
I mean, I guess what I was going to say at the start, but decided not to, was how much of this is weird dad stuff and how much of this is just OCD.
Yeah.
Well, this is the thing. As I say, it's the same with food. It's the same with everything. Like, we wait till tea bags are half price. It's just this. I've got this weird thing, and I'm not even in a position where it's that big a deal. Like, I'm thinking about the impact this is actually happening.
Yeah.
There was a stage in my life where it did have a massive impact, like those kind of things.
Yeah.
Now it's nothing. But at the same time, I just refuse unless it's on sale.
Yeah.
It will not be, especially if it's for me. If it's for other people, I'm not too fussed. But for me, no, it has to be on sale.
I feel the same. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's weird that.
I've been looking at running shoes for the last 4 months. I need to buy a pair of running... 4 months. I need to buy a pair of running shoes, and I have not bought them because they have not got to the price. I paid for them.
I went into JD Sports and tried on a pair of shoes, and it was like, this is just a fraction too small. So the next size up, we don't have them, but we've got these ones. They're kind of similar fit and everything. No, they weren't on special, so I'm not buying those ones. I've got to buy the ones that I wanted that were on special. So, what the fuck is wrong with you?
So many things.
It's
so many things.
So deeply psychological and wrong.
This says more about my wife than it does me. Where I was just chewing gum in the car, and I made a little bubble and popped it. And she said, "Can you not do that? That is so annoying when you do that." And I said, "Okay, since when?" And she's like, "Forever." And I said, "That's like 20 years. She's, yeah. I've been doing that for 20 years, and that's annoyed you for that long. And she's like, "Yes." I said,
wow.
"Why didn't you mention?" She said, "I didn't want to be that person." I said, "That's why people kill their spouses."
How old
20 years.
Though?
All the time. Anytime I've got like chewing gum.
Oh, okay. Yeah, right.
Anytime. Crazy.
Right.
Yeah.
Think of how much resentment that is over 20 years.
Yes, that's what I mean. That's why why old people, what happened? Oh, they burnt the fucking toast like they always did, and I lost it and killed them. Well, that's what happens with people in their 70s. It's crazy. 20 years. because you didn't want to be that person. You could have told me 20 years ago. I wouldn't have done it.
Yeah. I feel that's an adaptable kind of bit of your
That's right.
makeup that you could have sacrificed.
So now every now and then I'll be chewing gum and then I'll do it without thinking. I have to go, sorry. Sorry.
But at least you're aware of it now.
Yes, that's right. But again, like, just tell me 20 years ago. So weird.
All right. Well, we might be feeling a bit unsure of ourselves after all that and whether we're a bit weird, bit odd, whatever. A few of our friends of the show have chimed in with some weird stuff they do if you want to hear from them. Our very good friend Paul has said that I have the habit of singing, humming You Can't Always Get What You Want by the Rolling Stones whenever the kids won't let up with what they want.
Yeah.
I think that's great. That's in the wheelhouse.
I'm going to steal that.
Just sing your parenting, I say.
Yeah, that's the word.
Yeah.
Instead of yelling.
Winds my son up massively, he says. My wife says it's annoying that I always try to find confirmation of how awesome I am from the kids, like telling them I come from Funky Town and how I got voted cutest dad once. So that is a bit weird. Yes, thank you, Paul.
Yeah.
A friend of the show and co-host of What's the Go Look at Luke podcast, Dave, says everything's a Simpsons quote. He has to answer the phone with a hoy hoy, say toodle pip and stuff when people leave. That's fair. That's across the board. I don't even know.
Yeah.
No argument here. Always has to optimize speaker and sound systems in every situation.
That's good.
Interesting.
And this is the one. This got me hard. Can't
Wait,
handle.
hang on.
Or are you going to try and guess?
No, I'm just curious of your phrasing.
Got me hard. Oh, sorry. It got me exactly.
Right.
How about that?
Right, just checking.
Can't handle the food not being consumed evenly. Example, don't dig into the margarine or the ice cream
Gotcha.
so that there's holes all the way through it.
Right.
Even layers, please. That's me as well.
Vegemite. Very
Vegemite.
much so.
Yeah.
Like if you can see the bottom of the Vegemite jar and there's still like
Caked
three-quarters
around
of
the sides.
Vegemite,
Yeah,
that's ludicrous.
Yeah. And the other one, I think we all agree with this one too. This is not too weird. The lawn, there's a right way to mow the lawn.
Right.
Correct.
Any other way is upsetting.
Yeah.
Go on.
I need to interrupt. And
Go on.
lawn talk.
Oh, yeah.
But
It's been waiting.
I know.
he's been activated.
My wife made a comment the last time I mowed the lawn because I actually mowed it differently.
Oh,
And she just
noticed.
Noticed.
We drove back in the driveway and she went, "Oh, I really like what you've done with the lawn.
Wow.
I will never mow it the other way ever again."
So
It's like being told that shirt looks nice. You never wear. I just wear that shirt all the time.
Wear it all the time, yeah. So did you mow it north-south instead of east-west? What do you mean?
Yeah, no, don't, hang on, just wait a second.
Oh, wait. Oh,
I
you
would
want
like to put a
tease
pin in
it.
this for
Sorry.
next episode
Oh, okay,
because
right.
we want to give it the time it deserves. And I still have a list here. Ben, are you going to be able to remember it? You need to write notes. We got
Hey,
to talk
it's
about
the
it.
nicest thing his wife ever said.
If you tell me lawn compliment,
Yeah.
we can go lawn compliment. We're
Done.
good.
You'll have
All
a
right.
tattoo already by then.
Dom from the Strange Time Show. He says, I have a toolbox full of various pieces of metal and random screws that I delve into every now and again. Vic something. Yeah.
Yep.
I call it the useful box.
Yeah, I've got a
Useful
cardboard box. Yeah, a cardboard box.
Harkening back to my play school days.
Yeah.
No one else gets the reference, but you've got to go to the useful box.
Useful box, yeah.
Let's have a look at the useful box, kids.
Rubber band. Yeah, that's a rubber band.
Sing it.
That's not a
If
weird
you sing
dad thing.
everything. It's
Yeah.
great.
Yes.
Yeah. See, again, the OCD I'm worried about. I get interested in a subject or type of thing and get obsessive about it. Hence why I don't own one watch or a pair of trainers. I have 40 watches and 99 pairs of trainers. Wow. I started collecting Beano comics.
They were on special.
Yeah, exactly. I started collecting Beano comics from when I was a kid and now have nearly 2,000 of them.
Whoa.
And Yes, there's a bit more about Beano comics. I don't know what that is, so I'll leave that there.
Old school.
Yeah.
Very old school.
I'll tell the wife's son to lock up at night, but then I have to go and check the doors myself or I can't settle into sleep.
Mm-hmm. That's OCD, yep.
I have multiple projects on the go or waiting to be started for ages, but equally, I'll fix a cupboard door at midnight or water the garden rather than waiting for the next appropriate time. This is just madness. I hate being a passenger and have to drive. I get that one. That's I don't really like being a passenger at all. All right. Does anyone want to chime in with weird things that Dad did? I'll give you 2 examples first so you can get a flavour of where to pitch them, because this could be at any level, really. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
This is what I was thinking. You know how to pitch your answer.
Yeah.
2 weird things my dad did. My dad would sing songs as well, but they weren't actually relevant to what was happening.
Yeah.
They were just weird songs he had in his head.
That's my grandfather. My grandfather used to do that.
But did he sing something like this? Here's the song exactly.
I hope it's the same one.
Don't let your doodle dangle in the dirt.
Yeah.
Put it in your pocket where it won't get hurt. If you haven't got a pocket, then put it in your shirt. But don't let your doodle dangle in the dirt. And then he'd walk off, and we'd go, all right, thank you.
Good advice.
No.
Thank you, Grandpa.
And then the other thing he used to do, and I only remember this the other day, is he would... I've said that we used to go to the tip a fair bit, right?
Yeah.
He would get old tyres from the tip, bring them home, and he would make pots for pot plants out of old tyres.
Uh-huh.
Right.
And I don't know, it's impressively skillful to do it, but also they look kind of bizarre.
They do look bizarre. I've seen that at school.
That was a bit of an 80s thing.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
old
Yeah.
tire art in the garden.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So maybe so it's a bit wider spread than I realised. Maybe.
Didn't people used to make like swans out of
Yeah,
them?
that
Like,
sort
you'd
of thing,
Cut
yeah.
them in a certain way, and then and
Does
Exactly.
that go alongside using gelatin in your cooking?
How did these
Yeah,
things?
and everything in
How did
savoury
these things
dishes.
spread before the internet, though? Oh, that's what I don't get. If
Driving
everyone's
past
making
the
swans out
school.
of tyres,
Driving past the school, look at that. They've got swan tyre garden bed.
Tires.
That's a good idea.
all right. Anyone else?
Well, my grandfather used to enjoy a red wine, but after a couple of red wines, he would always abruptly stand up and sing the French national anthem.
We go.
that's
go.
fucking weird.
No, I know what that is. We go.
Is it a
That's-
reference?
That's fucking Casablanca. That's exactly what that is.
Right.
100%.
Right.
I guarantee you, if I asked my dad, have you ever done that? He would say, absolutely. Couple of wines at work. I guarantee you he's done that at a work
Right.
function. I'm
would
sure
never
he's
made
told
that
me that
connection.
story.
Wow.
Yeah, that is Casablanca.
Okay.
Okay.
Just keep cranking out the same
Not quite
reference
as
every time.
random.
Same reference. I mean, who would do that?
Unreal.
Who would do such a thing of singing
But,
reference
okay.
Outrageous.
So
songs
this
from...
this was a thing. Like this was in our family. This was a thing he was famous for.
Yeah, I
But
guarantee
no
you that's where
one-
it's from. No one knew
No one
why.
has made that connection.
I'll send you the clip. The
Please.
clip. We go.
Please. I'm going to make my mum cry. I'm going to show it to her.
Play it
She's
again,
gonna-
Sam.
Fantastic. Oh, that's great. We just busted out. All right. A strange dude.
Any others?
So I've got 2, and one I don't know if we'll leave in. The first one is Dad used to come up and grab your nipple, give you a nipple cripple, and say whistle. That's what he used to do. He'd give you a
Right.
nipple cripple and he'd say whistle, and if you whistled, he'd let go. But you can't whistle when someone's giving you a nipple cripple. It's impossible.
Is that a reference to Casablanca?
Oh dear. The
Could
one
be the
which,
start of a beautiful friendship.
yeah. Whoop.
Now whistle.
All All right, can I move on to just something quickly I found on the topic of weird dads that you guys might like? All right, so I found an article from BuzzFeed that put a call out for readers to send in their dad's weird hobbies.
Oh.
And a few of these got my attention. I thought I might talk to you about them so you can give me a bit of a hard dad rating on them. So rather than saying this is a bit weird, but is it fair enough, we might say, is this lovably eccentric or being on the spectrum? I guess would probably be the question. So here are some of the answers. Weird dad hobbies, Bigfoot. My dad and my uncle are both obsessed and have gone on trips just to look for Bigfoot. They believe they live in the woods somewhere and even believe that they have babies and families. They both think that they're just purposely avoiding being seen. I'm not convinced. Well, I guess I'll ask you the question. Do you know anybody who believes in kind of cryptids and those kind of weird supernatural
That's pretty
animals?
weird. I don't know. I don't think I've come across too many people who believe in that, in Bigfoot per se.
I've known people who believe in like yowies and stuff,
Yeah.
like literally, like not just kind of, like they genuinely think that there's something Bigfootish in the Australian wilderness.
Yeah.
And
I know 1.5. One who definitely does, and the half is my brother, who did believe in it. Now, I think still believes in it, but kind of brings it up in a joking, ironic way.
Right.
But brings it up a lot. So,
He's obviously got tracks. He's already
I don't know. Yep, he's Bigfoot style covering his tracks, do you reckon?
Bigfoot.
This is similarly themed. My dad hunts UFOs from his balcony. Every night he sits outside with binoculars and watches the sky. Before he goes to bed, he sets up a video camera on a tripod and records all night. The next morning, he watches the recordings and emails me all his evidence. He also makes pasta sauce in his spare time. I like that being tacked on the end.
The correlation between pasta sauce and UFO activity.
Well,
coincidence? That's right.
Oh, I think it's nice to. There's nothing nicer to have than a bit of pasta sauce while you're looking at UFOs, I think.
No, it's fine.
I was listening to something really interesting the other day, which basically, and I know this kind of crops up a bit, but one of the national security experts basically saying in the next 3 to 5 years there will be pretty substantial confirmation from the governments about what the UFO activity actually is.
Right.
And saying that it definitely exists and they don't know what it is, but that the UFOs definitely do exist. Or whatever they actually call them, their UAE. They've changed the name of them.
You know me, I'm reasonably cynical. But there's a lot of me that can't understand how quickly we've advanced technologically over the last 5 decades or so.
Yeah.
I
think this, I don't know. There's some things which have and some things which haven't as well. Like you look at the amount of progress that happened between kind of flight and automobiles up to jet engines during World War II. And then that's kind of stagnated a little bit. But then there's all these other,
Well, it was, 60 years between the first flight and landing on the moon?
Oh, I know. That's just absolutely insane. Like that's nonsense.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. So anyway, as I say, that was just an interesting, and I'm not being a conspiracy nut or anything like that. It was just this guy seemed like a fairly reliable source, and he was just like, "Yep, this is going to happen."
No, that's fine. I think we can explore it more. So next episode, Wigo's new way of doing his lawn, and UFO. Our thoughts on UFOs.
Is there a correlation?
Yeah.
Well, are there crop circles in his lawn? Maybe
has Wigo been replaced by an alien entity that has
who's finally doing the lawn right?
He's finally doing the lawn right. Yeah.
Wigo's left the conversation. If you hadn't, there's no way he'd be standing for that if he was still here.
Yeah, but I wish he was here because he'd say I'm not an alien, and there's no way to prove it.
That's what an alien would say. Look at the size of him.
He mowed a lawn
Look at him.
in a different way, i.e., an alien way.
The exact mirror of what the way you'd normally do.
Yeah, that's
How about this for a dad hobby? My dad collects shot glasses but hates hard liquor.
huh.
That just seems like a pointless, stubborn dad hobby to have, doesn't it?
Yeah. But I mean, that's like collecting teaspoons.
Teaspoons is always a weird one.
Yeah, my grandmother
It's
had
kind of fallen
teaspoons,
by the
but then
wayside.
they're all hung up around the house.
They were on display.
Yeah, on display.
Well, just kind of.
Why are there teaspoons that you could use? Well, no, you've got them on display in some wooden
The
weird
display
thing.
spoons.
Wow, that's. I wonder what happened to them. There
How
must be somewhere in
effusive,
the
how,
family.
how effusive can the casual observer be about a
I
spoon?
know.
Yeah.
There's a lot of them.
All right.
Or maybe it's just one of those things where she, I like spoons, said it once,
Yeah.
and then
Everyone's got a
forevermore,
spoons for so
everyone
many
buys
years.
That's right, yeah.
Well, surely not everyone was saying that. Like these souvenir spoons
Yeah.
were everywhere.
Everywhere.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. My dad has a lifelong goal of finding the perfect slinky.
Oh my God.
We probably have around 20 slinkies in our house right now, none of which have made it all the way down the stairs.
That's great.
That's a good dad project.
That's a very
That's
good
a
dad
fantastic-
project.
that's
I
a
like
great
it.
dad project.
I
Yeah.
can imagine him weighing them up in the shop before he
Balance.
buys them, putting it back because it's not on
Yeah.
special.
Getting a little ruler, taking a ruler with him.
Yeah. Yep.
Knowing
Maybe
his
something
steps.
wrong with the stairs. That'd be mine.
Oh, blow his
Great
mind.
point.
You know, the problem is the stairs, not the slinkies.
It's the stairs, it's not the slinky.
Redo the whole stairs so he can get his slinkies going right.
Just rip
That's
his
a dad
stairs
project.
out. There you go. Why are you ripping your stairs out? It's just because of slinkies.
Rise is too short. Uneven.
Yeah.
Slinky won't go.
I'm going to make the stairs narrower. It's better for the slinkies.
Yeah.
Everyone's falling down the stairs. The slinkies
Yeah,
going
do
good.
The tiptoe up the stairs.
Yeah.
On point.
You do it sideways. Everyone's got to walk sideways upstairs.
This one kind of resonated with me. I can see this happening. My dad is an orchid doctor by hobby. It happened so randomly. I thought I killed my orchid and I brought it to him and he brought it back to life. Now he has over 20 orchids because people keep bringing them to him when they're on their last legs and he nurses them and they bloom again.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
That sounds like a good retirement job.
Yeah. So he sits there and he waters and talks to his orchids.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. Like,
Oh, that's a nice one. I think that, yeah, anything which is completely, which is obsessive but non-harmless or even fruitful in this case, I think has a lot of
I don't know if they're fruitful.
merit.
It's orchids, not orchards. Oh. But I tell you, this is something that's plagued my dad, right? Because my dad is extremely handy. He can do pretty much any job you can think of, right? But it's a curse also because, like, as soon as people know you're good at something, people are just at you all the time to do little jobs.
Yep. Bring it over to you. Bring it to
Yeah.
you. Sort it
Don't
out.
show anyone you're good at anything. That's my advice.
I've been living by that motto for the last 6 years and I maintain it. No one will ever know.
My dad is super into pens. Like super into pens. And slightly less so pencils. He listens to podcasts about pens for hours on end. He collects pens. We can't go into a new store without him wanting to go and look at the pens. He knows so much about pens. And he knows so much about calligraphy, except he can't actually do any calligraphy. He's not interested in that.
Huh. Just knows about calligraphy. It's like the shot glasses.
So, shot glass guy. See, that's weird. That is weird. Shot glass guy, calligraphy guy are weird. Orchid guy and slinky step guy.
Yeah. It's a guy ripping his stairs out for the slinky's benefit. They're fine. But yeah.
Fine.
See, the spoons, like, there's a fair bit you can do design-wise with spoons, right?
Yeah.
What can
Not
you do
wrong.
with a shot glass? Once you've got about half a dozen,
Yeah.
what new areas are you exploring in shot glassery?
I'm assuming it's like souvenir-y, and then you kind of... I'm imagining like some kind of
engraving
a shelf or a barring type thing, like where you just put them out on display. So it's like your spoon. It's like you can't, as I say, these are all the places I've been to.
Yeah, I reckon pen. You could go down the rabbit hole of specific like pen making.
Yes.
What you like in a pen and how it feels and the grip and the writing
I think there was
My brother's a bit that way about pencils, mechanical pencils. He went through a phase of like 6 or 7 really expensive mechanical pencils. And he's like, oh, look at this one. And he was showing me. I'm like, yeah, cool.
I think there was a time when I could have really got into pens around the 19 years old or so. I got a really nice proper ink pen and some nice scrolly parchment style paper. And I went, this is the fucking life. I could really get into this. And then it just faded
start
off
writing by candlelight.
as everything does. But, I could have been
seals next to
Yeah, that's right.
could have been bitten by the
Wearing
bug.
cravats.
Yeah.
just rewriting The Raven over and over again.
Not where my pretension levels are usually at.
Turning into some kind of highwayman. Leaving letters. Letters for the women you're interested in. I like it.
All right. My dad is obsessed with cleaning dirt and bugs and leaves off his second-story balcony patio. It doesn't sound that weird, but he keeps buying himself new toys to assist him in his quest to have the most clean balcony patio in the world.
Oh, my God.
And he's always out there. Newest toys are called the leaf blower, and he's so obsessed with maintaining the spotless state of the balcony, he'll go out there no matter what's happening. Raining, he can be found blowing leaves off the patio. Major holiday, he's blowing leaves. Family guests in his house visiting, blowing leaves.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Do people go out and, does he just want someone to go, this is a clean patio?
Exactly. Is it for himself?
These are amazing shot glasses.
Or is it the eternal hope that, people walk past and he just catches them doing a double take?
Yeah.
Looking up at the patio and just being agog.
Maybe this links to like what we were saying earlier about gratitude. Is that, are we expecting gratitude for things people don't give a shit about?
You can't pick one thing and just overdo it to death. How many times do I have to say thank you for the clean fucking patio?
Oh, I love it.
My dad has a compost box around the side of the house and there's worms in it that eat food or whatever. Every spring we get new worms and he sits there for hours talking to them, trying to get them to adjust.
That's pretty great.
That's dadness.
That's very good dadness.
It's a adjust. My dad, a bass fishing, motorcycle riding, truck driving Alabama man, freaking loves Lady Gaga. When she performed at the Super Bowl, he rewinded it and watched the entire 15-minute performance about 3 times. I bought him Joanne for Valentine's Day and he listens to it 24/7. He even has a buggy that he rides through the mud and woods of our lake house in the middle of nowhere and all you can hear is Lady Gaga blaring through the speakers.
I love it. That sounds like when my dad got into Madonna, late 80s.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he got right into Madonna. He watched, I think I was watching Rage and Like a Prayer was on.
Yeah.
And he was just like, holy shit.
Just the film clips? Or
the film clip of it was just like, shit. He was just like, that is like, this chick's got balls, man. To make a black Jesus and basically all of that in... She said, he's like, they're going to come for her in America. And he was just so impressed that he just was like, what else does she sing? And he was just like super impressed with her. And I was like, oh, look at all the other songs. Just pop. But either way, yeah, he got right into it.
Interesting. So this is the bit I got up to where I started to wonder if some of these were taking the piss a bit.
Okay.
My dad comes home from work every night and combs the fringe on all of our rugs. He has a specific tool that he looks like a giant comb attached to a broomstick that apparently is made just for this purpose. Sometimes he does it twice a day if there's not too much going on.
I like it. You've got to keep your house in order.
It's the picking one thing and going nuts on it while
really
presumably leaving everything else to go to ruin. Lastly, my dad loves the weather. After it rains, he goes out and checks the rain gauge.
Right.
He has a thermostat-type device on his desk that shows temperature, rain, humidity, moon cycle, sunrise and sunset times, wind barometric pressure, and some other stuff I don't understand. His homepage is the National Weather Service forecast for our zip code.
That sounds great.
Regularly checks the weather forecast, and not just stuff on the news, but multiple models. Apparently, the European model is the most accurate.
Right.
He communicates frequently with the National Weather Service.
Oh, God.
Anytime we get a huge amount of rain or any kind of big weather event, he emails them. He's an active member of the Weather Underground Facebook page and website. He's a photographer and formed a close friendship with all the local meteorologists because of his weather pictures, to the point where it's very common to hear his name on the weather segment of the news, usually multiple times a week.
Boy.
This is starting to get a little too close to home now, isn't it?
I was going to say.
There's nothing weird about that at all.
No, he sounds great.
Yeah. Oh, this is just people being spiteful now. I've had enough of this. Let's get out of here.
Partly so. Some people are just mean.
Yeah, that's just nasty. We should yell at them. Gentlemen, thank you very much for your time.
Lovely.
If those birds can shut the fuck up for 5 seconds, I'll be able to tell you that you can catch those fellas and myself on the Dad Pants podcast. Look up Dad Pants in the pod player that you listen to podcasts on. Even this podcast, you're probably listening to it on that pod player right now. In that same pod player, look up Dad Pants. Follow the show and you'll get more of those guys. Yeah. Stay weird. This is an Angry Chimp podcast.